Okay, now that you've got your thermostat installed and registered, what you're going to want to do is go to ecobee.com and log into your account. Now we're going to recommend that you use a laptop and not a tablet for some of these changes, just because the settings are a little bit easier to adjust using the web-based portal. So we're going to log in. I'm going to use my personal account just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so when you get into your portal, it's going to load your thermostats. You should see all of the thermostats you have registered to your account. So what you're going to want to do is go into each one of these, and you're going to see all of your options in the menu. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into your reminders and alerts. In the preferences section of your alerts, you're going to want to go in and just make sure that all of these alerts and reminders sort of make sense. So what we would recommend is review things like low temperature, high temperature. You can disable this or enable this. When it is enabled, this means whenever the temperature falls below that threshold of 50 degrees, so once it hits 49, an email will be triggered to your account to let you know that the temperature has gone below your lowest temperature or highest temperature setting. So this is up to the owner, the studio owner or the user, if they want to use this feature. We would recommend, at least with low temperature alerts, that you would turn that on. With high temperature alerts, your studios are going to be pretty warm, so it may not be something that you'd want to set. You're also going to go through with your reminders, and you're going to want to disable your HVAC maintenance reminder. You're also going to want to go through, disable your filter reminder because you won't have one. UV lamp, most of these you're going to want to make sure are turned off. Lastly, in this section, humidity is another alert that you can adjust. So if you are concerned with humidity, you can definitely go in. We would recommend setting the humidity level somewhere between 30 and 45%, depending on the time of year. Just like the temperature alerts, this will send you an email when that humidity level is either exceeded or drops below the desired level. Next, we're going to go in, we're going to look at the sensors. So if you're using remote room sensors, you're going to see them all listed out here. The other thing that is important in here for your studio is a feature we call Smart Home, Smart Away. So within the Ecobee, you're going to have the ability to turn this on or off. If you do turn on the Smart Home, Smart Away feature, what that's going to mean is when no one is occupying the space, and either the thermostat or the sensor does not detect that there is a person physically in the room, it's going to put the system into a setback. Now this may work against you because with yoga studios, you're going to want to keep that temperature nice and warm. And if no one is occupying the space, then this feature may work against you because it's going to let that room temperature start to drop. And you're going to want to make sure prior to starting your classes that room is nice and warm. It's at that 110, 115 degree temperature that you want. So we would recommend, again, just go in to the sensors, go into Smart Home, Smart Away, turn that off. Next, in the settings, so go into your settings here, just kind of review the format, your time, your location. Check your heat setting range. So in preferences, you're going to be able to set a range of what the user is able to adjust the thermostat set point to. So with yoga studios, you're going to need them nice and warm. We're going to crank this all the way up. With the Ecobees, you can heat up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so very, very warm. You're probably going to want to set that max temperature at 120. If you do not set it at 120, what that means is the system, regardless of how high you turn the heat up, it's never going to heat above that high temperature range. Same concept with cool. So adjust these accordingly. You probably don't need to worry about the the cool range quite as much because you're going to be running your infrared heaters to keep the studio nice and warm. Next, with your hold action. So this is something that is probably pretty important when you're holding classes. You're going to want to choose the option, make sure that it's until the next scheduled activity. So once you've got until the next scheduled activity selected here, this means that when you set up your schedule, the set point hold is always going to revert back to the schedule once you move into that next scheduled event. You can also use, a 2-hour hold, a 4-hour hold. You can do it indefinitely, or you can even set it where it will ask you at the thermostat when you do change the set point, how do you want to manage that hold? Do you want it to be, indefinitely 2 hours until the next scheduled activity? So we would recommend, again, just to recap, use the until the next scheduled activity here. Go into your smart recovery mode. So with heat, this is something that you're going to want to disable. So like the smart home, smart away feature, if this is enabled, this is at times going to work against the goal of keeping your studio nice and warm, right? You're really going to want to have this turned off, because what this is going to do is it's going to choose throughout different points in the day when to precondition. So it's going to proactively at times start conditioning before your next scheduled event kicks in. Lastly, in this section, you're going to want to go into the access control. So access control is something that you can enable. This means that a 4-digit passcode will be required at the thermostat to make any changes. So if the user knows the 4-digit passcode, they're going to be able to make those changes at the thermostat. Otherwise, they're going to have to go in through the portal to manage these. So if we lock them out of all features, that means they won't be able to make any changes. You also have the ability to just allow them to adjust the temperature or a quick change or scheduled event, vacation settings, that sort of thing. Okay, the last section we'll cover is scheduling, and we're also going to talk about vacation mode, which is really intended for one-time events, something that is like a holiday or a vacation where you close the business. We just call it vacation on the residential side. Really more like you're away or sleep mode it could be. So with scheduling, it's going to really reflect your weekly routine, what you're typically doing, week to week, day to day, and it's not going to drastically change much. So schedule is going to kind of be consistent. Vacation is going to be more of those one-time events that you want to plan out. So to start, I'm going to go into the schedule here. By default, you're always going to see sleep at the top and sleep at the bottom. So sleep for the sake of a business would really translate to away or those hours when you're closed. So you're going to want to maintain this sort of sandwich look to it where you've got sleep on each side. So the gray is sort of like the bun, and then the meat and the garnish is going to be all your comfort settings you'll create in the center. So to begin, we don't want the home setting in the schedule. This will potentially create some problems with preconditioning. If you're using the home comfort setting at times, it may turn the equipment on and start heating even though you don't want it to. So instead of home, we're going to use the away function. So I'm going to clear out home. I'm going to click on that comfort setting. I'm going to hit the X here. I'm just going to hit delete. You can see that's going to pull this out. And what I can do is copy Monday now to the rest of my week. It's basically clearing everything out except sleep. And the next thing you'll want to do is start to create those custom comfort settings. So you can have up to 29 comfort settings. You can custom name them. Ideally, I think you'd want one setting for each class with a different temperature preference. So to begin, we'll just do new comfort setting, and we'll name this one hot yoga. We're going to go to our temperature setting. We're going to take this way up pretty high. Keep it nice and warm in the studio. Let's say we want it to be 105. Your fan settings you really don't need to change because this doesn't necessarily apply. Most of the time you won't really have a fan because this is infrared heat. So we do want to, however, change the occupancy from away to home. So during this custom setting, you're saying there will be people occupying the space. We don't want to ever go into a setback of any type, kind of the opposite of the home setting where we don't want to kick on the heat when no one's there. So we'll save this. Let's go back to our schedule. You'll see that hot yoga class pop up here. I'm going to do one more custom setting, and you may have more. You may have 5 different classes. This one, we'll call it cool yoga. Not necessarily cold, but we'll do cool. Again, we'll go to temperature settings. This time I'm going to make it nice warm 80. I'm going to again go to the occupancy, make sure it's set to home, click save. You'll see that setting pop up on the right side here, the little menu. So what I want to do next is start building out my schedule throughout the week. So we'll start with Monday. In this case, we'll assume we have the same schedule or very similar schedule, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe those are your busier days. Maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are going to be lighter days. So I'll just start with Monday. We'll go out here and create a new activity. Okay, so on Monday, choose hot yoga. Let's have it start at 5:30 in the morning. Click save. So I want to have that sleep mode at the end of the day always. So I'm going to add an activity, again for Monday. I'm going to choose sleep. And I'm going to say that our studio usually closes by 8 p.m. So this is when you open in the morning, first class of the day, 5:30, closing at 8. In between, you're going to want to build out those classes and maybe that down period, which we'll use away in this case. So after my 5:30 a.m. class, I'm going to add an activity, again for Monday. I'm going to use the away feature. Say at 7:30 a.m., we want the studio to cool down again. We're going to go into that away mode. You'll see it populate here on the left. So then maybe at 9:30, I'm going to have a cool yoga class. So I'll add another activity Monday, cool yoga this time. Put it in for 9 a.m. Click save. Should see it populate over here. This is your cool yoga class now. And then again, we're going to want to go into that away mode for a while. No one's going to be in there. Maybe that class is only an hour and a half, so we'll say at 10:30, go to away. Maybe we want to remain in the away mode from 10:30 until about 1 through the lunch period, and then we'll add another hot yoga class. So add activity again, make sure it's Monday, do a hot yoga class. I'm going to choose 1 p.m. this time. Click save. You'll see it if I scroll down, it's going to populate here. Again, start building out the afternoon. Monday, we want to be away for a while. Maybe that hot yoga class is over at 3 o'clock this time. And then we'll go back into our schedule here. We'll schedule a cool yoga class, maybe 5 p.m. If you use an iPad or a touchscreen laptop, this is a lot easier. You can kind of scroll down just by touching the screen here. So I'll find 5:30, click save. You should see it all built out here now. So just to recap, on Monday, we open around 5:30. We're going to preheat that room. Going to get it up to temperature. Then we're going to go into a couple hours of a setback. We have another class at 9 a.m. for cool yoga. Go back into that downtime a little bit until the afternoon. Hot yoga again in the afternoon. Little lull, and then cool yoga. And then we'll say, maybe after this afternoon cool yoga class. We're going to go back into that away mode. Just one last setting here. Let's say 7 p.m., maybe that last hour of the day, you're kind of hanging out, you're doing some administrative things before you close the doors and go home for the night. So we've got Monday scheduled nicely here. Now, as I said earlier, I'll assume Monday, Wednesday, and Friday have a similar schedule. So I'm going to use this copy function. I'm going to copy Monday. I'm going to apply it to Tuesday, or Wednesday rather, and Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday now, we should see the same schedule. What I'll do next is I'll build out Tuesday. And I can copy Tuesday to Thursday, maybe to Saturday, maybe Sunday we're closed, so we'll just leave this sleep mode in for Sunday. So Tuesday this time, I'm going to add an activity. It's probably going to be a lighter day. We'll do a hot yoga class. We'll have it start a little bit later, get a little more sleep on Tuesday, 7 a.m. And then we'll go into that away mode. Let's say Tuesday, we go into away. 2 hours later, 9 a.m. And then we'll do a cool yoga class. Tuesday, cool this time. Maybe we'll do that at 11. And you can see how it's populating here. So you've got that away mode, your cool yoga class. And I'm going to just add an away for Tuesday. And I'm going to say at noon this time. So it's a shorter class, it's only an hour. And then maybe in the afternoon on Tuesday, we'll create one more hot yoga class. We'll have that start at 1:30. And maybe we'll go into an away mode or sleep mode. So let's say that we only have a 2-hour class in the afternoon and we're going to close early on Tuesday. So I'll add Tuesday. I'm going to use sleep. This is going to mean that we are closing the doors at 3:30. Okay, so just to give you a feel for everything you can manage here, you've got Monday, it's a longer day. You've got Tuesday built out, it's a shorter day. We'll copy Tuesday over to Thursday and maybe to Saturday. So you'll see Monday, Wednesday, Friday match, Tuesday, Thursday match. Sunday, we're going to assume the business is closed, no one's there. We're just going to stay in that setback or sleep mode. So if I want to just adjust something, let's say maybe on Thursday, instead of 7 a.m., this class is going to start at 6:30. Just click on that comfort setting in the schedule, find the time you want to change it to, click Save, and you'll see that populate here in the schedule. Okay. So we've pretty much built out our schedule for the week now. What I think we should probably look at next is the vacation mode. So now that you've got your weekly routine down, you can go in, you can adjust these here and there. You know, maybe this class is going to be a little bit longer. I can click 8 a.m. instead of 7:30 a.m. This is going to be where you just adjust week to week slightly based on your schedule in your classes. So if I close out of the schedule, I'll show you the vacation mode. So if we click on vacation mode, again, it's called vacation, but it's really intended for residential. You can use it for your business and just consider it those periods as longer periods that are scheduled out like a holiday. In this case, you know, it's March. We'll say we're going to close Sunday through the following Saturday. So March 15th, we'll go into a setback. We're going to return on the 21st. We're going to take the heat down to 67. I don't really want any equipment running during this period. So the difference with vacation mode means if you are using a thermostat, an Ecobee thermostat with a sensor built in, or you're using our room sensors, occupancy will not come into play. So even though someone may walk into the studio, maybe someone's coming to check your mail, check up on things in the office, you're out of town for spring break this week, you just want it to hold at 67, that's when you're going to use this vacation mode. So we'll just schedule that out. So this is our next event. And then maybe, for the holidays, July 4th would be your next one. So you can do a new vacation. Once you go into new vacation, find your dates for the 4th. Let's say we close on the 3rd. We return on the 6th. We're going to go into that 67-degree setback again. Maybe in July, this isn't necessarily going to come into play because it's going to be warm outside, but just for training purposes here, we'll use this. And now you'll see each of these vacations listed out on the left side. So again, vacation mode, one-time events, holidays, weeks that you're closed, schedule, weekly routine that you would go and adjust week to week. Hopefully this is helpful, and I think that's it. Thank you again for your purchase. We hope you enjoy your new Ecobee Smart Thermostat.